Good morning. Thanks for being with us and welcome back. We have in studio this morning Dr. Tripp from the Tripp Family Medicine practice. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
I think you're going to talk to us today a little bit about using our health insurance benefits to our best use.
Yep.
Let me give you just a little example and see if this kind of feeds into what you want to talk about. My health insurance benefit includes an annual wellness check that I can go in and do. And it has a long list of services that my insurance company pays for with no out of pocket uh, to have on a once a year annual basis. And so in October, both my wife and I went in to our doctor and went through the entire thing. We had a blood workup. We did all the exams, the heart rate, everything down the page, including our flu shot, pneumonia shot, um, one other thing I can't remember now. All of those things were
You
included.
you forgot the rectal exam.
Um, yes, that's always a part of
That's it.
that.
See, now
That's
no,
some.
now nobody will go for those
Yeah,
those
that
wellness
everybody will
exams.
forget their wellness benefit
That's
check
right,
now. That's
right there.
off the page. Nobody wants to go in,
Awesome.
but it's an important thing. It's called wellness benefit for a reason. Why is that, doctor?
Well, that's one of the things that actually has been pretty standard with insurance for a long time, and one of the requirements now with our healthcare law. But the idea of a wellness exam isn't to come because you got a cold or you tweaked your knee. It really is to say, where's my status? Where am I at this point? How's my body doing? How's my health in general? And some of the things we check with that have to do with a physical exam. That's a big part of it. And other has to do with blood work. And the blood work will tell us things about your kidney function, your liver function. How's your blood sugar? Are you threatening to become diabetic? And things like cholesterol and even thyroid. How's your metabolism working? So those wellness exams are important, and that's a great example of what we want to talk about today. And that is, you have health insurance. We're now required to have health insurance, so let's not leave any of the benefits on the table if we can help it. Because what happens is each year, and usually that's January 1st for most people, they begin with a new deductible. Now, deductible is kind of hard to understand because you think, well, I understand a copay when I walk in the office might be $25 or $35 for a sick visit, but this wellness exam you're talking about, you don't even usually have a copay. So it's really for you out of pocket. There's no cost. You've paid your premiums, and this is one of those benefits. But if you have, let's say, a mole that you need removed or a skin cancer, these are things we do a lot of the time, or even a joint injection because you got a sore shoulder or a sore knee, those are all considered procedures. And procedures almost always go towards your deductible, which is an agreed upon amount in your policy that says, I will pay this out of pocket. And after I pay that out of pocket, then my insurance kicks in again for procedures. So let's say you had, a knee surgery. That surgery for most people is you're gonna pay 1,000 or 5,000 out of pocket before the insurance starts to kick in on that surgery. But if you've already done that, somebody in the family's already had a surgery or something that's met that deductible. Now you're at the point where, if I need that little mole removed or I need, the joint injection or things like that, today's the day to make that phone call because probably January 1st, if you wait till then and you do the same little procedure, you're paying out of pocket again because your deductible started over.
Everything resets on a January 1st schedule.
And almost, I won't say all insurances because there are different times a year depending on if your employer has a program that starts different times a year, but most are set on the calendar year. So December is a big time, not just for Christmas, but to say, hey, what else do I need to get done, at the doctor's office so that I don't have to pay for it out of pocket next month.
Now, are there specific things that people need to be concerned with and looking for that they could take advantage of in this month of
Well,
December?
I think that wellness exam would be the number one because it applies to everybody. And if you don't use it, you lose it. And why not find out where your status is? I will admit that I have been remotivated to go to the gym because I got into some back pain this over this Thanksgiving weekend, and so I met a guy that I know there at the gym, and he's talking about how he's been working hard to lose weight again and get back in shape, and how he's coming in January to do his wellness exam, which, for him will still be no money out of pocket. But, I honestly don't know if he did a wellness exam this year. But the idea is so he can find out if the efforts he's making are making a difference. But so that's the best example.
Okay.
Good.
Well, we got a break coming up.
All right.
We'll still have the doctor with us after the break. Call in if you like. You have questions for the doctor about your insurance plan, how to get a wellness exam. 736-0300. We'll be back on Top Story after the break.
Welcome back. We have in studio today Dr. Tripp from the Tripp Family Medicine, and his uh, mantra is better health with Tripp Family Medicine. We've been talking about using your health insurance benefits to your best advantage. We were talking about wellness exams on an annual basis, and most wellness exams are included as a freebie in good, solid health insurance programs. Not all of them, but mostly. So, doctor, at what age should we really start emphasizing wellness exams? And are there things that we should do earlier in life as opposed to a full-blown wellness exam?
Yeah, the actual idea of wellness exams starts as an infant. And so what we have with that is, well child checks or well baby checks, and then it works its way up to, uh, you know, children, and then most of us as teenagers tend to fall out of going to the doctor until we're hurt or we're sick. And guys in particular are well known for saying, "I ain't going to a doctor until something's killing me." And that's often when I see the men is, they come in and my knee or my shoulder's been hurting not for a week or a month, but I've been doing this for 9 months or 3 years, and fix me. So that's kind of, what do they say? Horse is out of the barn already in a lot of cases. But the truth is it's not that I'm asking people to show up for every owie they have, because frankly our bodies are great. They get better given a little time most of the time. But I was talking prior to the show with one of the gentlemen in studio, and he's saying how he wished he had a relationship with a family practice doc prior to having problems, because there's established background, and had he done annual wellness exams, they would really understand or maybe have caught some of the things that showed up later, uh, just because he's showing up once a year. So that's a great example of, hindsight is 2020. Preventative things that we're looking for is everything from your weight. In fact, I can't emphasize this, and I'm in the same crowd of always, trying to lose weight, so I'm not beating on those that are, 2 pounds overweight. But weight changes everything. It changes your blood sugar levels, changes your cholesterol levels, changes your blood pressure. These are all three things that are life threatening. And so if there's something that we can do, it's, making our bodies stronger. So we have physical exercise, strengthening, balance. In fact, as we get older, a lot of times illness really comes as a result of lack of balance. And then there's a fall and there's an injury. And then because you're down because of the injury, everything else seems to deteriorate quickly. So strength, balance, keeping our weight down, those are the preventative things that would probably be the best.
Which is hard to do at this time of year. After
Oh yeah,
Thanksgiving, going into
Right.
Christmas, cookies, pies. Oh my gosh.
this is the favorite time of year for those of us that are foodies, and so
So we can defer all of your wonderful
till January.
life-saving suggestions until January. Is that
Well,
right, Doc?
the answer, my strategy on this, and may not be perfect for the hardcore bodybuilder, but my strategy is have some. Don't have the whole pie.
Right.
Don't have the whole dish. Have some ice cream or have some cookies, but don't take the whole plate of cookies and think, well, I'm only eating one at a time. That still it still adds up.
You're
So
still eating it, right?
so moderation is probably the better mantra, but the truth is it's fun to let your mind play the game of, what, I can skip this one because I know tomorrow or the next day, because it's the holidays, there's gonna be something else good. I don't even know what
Right.
it is yet, but it's coming.
You know it's there,
So
right?
it's
Yeah,
o-
it's
it's
gonna come.
okay to
I could.
give yourself a little delayed gratification.
So
But
if they want more information from you or want to get in touch with you, get a wellness dam, signed up, what do they need? How do they get a
let's
hold of
do
you?
that. Yeah, Tripp Family Medicine. You can reach us at the telephone number is 208-933-4400. Our website is trippfamilymedicine.com, and then also Facebook, you can reach us at Tripp Family Medicine. So 933-4400. And let me give a couple other suggestions. What do you want to do by the end of the year? If you're looking at your skin exams, because we do a lot of dermatology, you're looking for moles that have changed, anything that looks new, or when I say suspicious, I mean it's changed in size, it's changed color, it's changed shape, it's new altogether, and may not even look very threatening, but it's worth looking at. Um, Even little kind of what I call flaky, scratchy guys, like especially on the face, the hands, the scalp. These little flakes that you can peel off and come back a week or two later are actually precancers, and they need to be frozen. They need to be gotten rid of because they will develop or can develop into a type of cancer called squamous cell. Squamous cell is not usually life-threatening initially, but can be.
If you let it go too long, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the big bad scary one is melanoma, and melanoma often presents as a very small dark spot. Something that you wouldn't probably pay a lot of attention to. But moles that change in their shape, color, they have redness. These are hints of moles that could change to melanoma, and often melanoma shows up that was uh, a lesion or a little spot that wasn't even there before, and so that's the killer. It is. I can't emphasize enough that that one needs to be watched for and taken care of.
Most of us have spent the summer months a lot of time outdoors. Myself, I always wear a short sleeve shirt when I'm outside working, and for 2 or 3 hours at least every single day. By the time I get things done, and I discover that I have got a suntan line and down my hands and arms and across my face and neck.
I thought that's where everybody in Idaho gets their
Yeah.
suntan.
That's exactly
Is that
right.
right?
We don't do it at the pool, right?
That's
No,
right. Yeah.
that's
Oh,
out
maybe the
working,
river.
and so these skin irritations and so forth.
Yeah.
This would be a natural time of the year to look at them and reflect on them, to have you guys look at them
Yep.
and check them out and because we've been out in the summer sun and got a lot of exposure, and so if there's a problem starting to surface, we would probably see it best this time of year.
Sure. In fact, a simple way for the precancers that I'm talking about is just to run your hand across your forehead, run it down your face, your nose, your ears, and see if you can't find a little rough spot that you really weren't paying attention to or you've seen before and it's still there. It's a feel almost more than you can see it on the precancers. But for moles or melanoma that are obvious or are new, please let us check those out for you. That you know, if they need taking off, we were talking about not losing your benefits this year. If they need taking off, I'd rather see you today and tomorrow the next day and take those off in the month of December and, save you the money that would go towards that procedure.
Yeah, next year's deductible.
And that being
Yeah.
said, too, what about under the hair? I mean, sometimes skin's exposed to the sun. We don't wear
Yeah.
hats. Should we look through our scalp as well?
Absolutely. Just actually run your fingers through, or there's part lines, and if you don't have hair, you can look in the mirror. But
Right.
I saw that.
They're making fun of me.
That's
I'm the
right.
guy in the room
That's
who
right.
has no hair.
That's right.
But you wear a hat all the time, too.
I
right?
do. I do wear a hat.
Good.
But my tops of my
But
ears.
did you
and my
when
earlobes.
you were 18 or 25?
I've worn a hat as long as I could remember.
Good man.
So
But the ears probably were exposed.
the ears could be
Yep.
a real problem, and
Sure.
so it's timely advice.
Excellent. No, the idea about it, what about in the hair? I actually had one of my biggest scares where my part is in the back of my head, and I had a little growth that was coming up, and boy, it just felt like what I see on people that is a precancer, and then it became thicker, and I thought, oh my goodness, I have squamous cell cancer on the top of my head, but I couldn't see it.
Huh.
So, I went to another physician that looked at it and kind of laughed at me and says, oh, this is one of those age spots. And I was about 40, and I'm like, what? What do you mean an age spot? So he froze it off. We got rid of it, and but it was a real relief, and that's what I would recommend for people to come in. If you have any concern, let us put your mind at ease. Let us say, hey, that's not a worry. Yes, it's new, or maybe it is an age spot, but let us distinguish for you between the scary and the not so scary. And so that would be my take on skin. Because what are we looking for? We're looking for skin cancer. If you want to do cosmetic stuff, we have that too, and it's a lot of fun. But
For you, of course, right?
yeah,
Let's take care of
the cosmetic is probably not gonna. You're not gonna care about your deductible. You're gonna pay for that anyway.
Right.
That's true.
So
Keep in mind that the telephone number is 736-0300.
There we go.
The doctor will be here for a few more minutes. Give us a
Yeah.
call.
Right. You alluded to it. You asked Steve if he had worn hats when he was younger. Should we be wearing? I mean, as a teen, I didn't wear much hats. I ran around in the sun, but then I got older. I started wearing hats, long sleeve shirts. Should we still be concerned, even though we're wearing hats now, that we didn't back then?
yeah,
Or
what you're
covered.
doing, whatever you're doing now to cover up, is preventing further damage.
Yeah.
You can't go backwards, and it is true. A lot of these precancers I'm talking about really are damage from years past. They're not last year or the year before. They're from a couple of decades ago usually. So what you do from here forward, especially if you're 92 and you say, well, I'm going to start wearing hats, well, that's great. But, as opposed to the 52 or the 42 or the 32-year-old, those people are going to benefit a lot more from starting now rather than the 92-year-old.
Okay.
So anything you do actually is beneficial, but the longer you've done damage, the more damage that'll show up, and that sets you up for the need for maintenance. So it's like the wellness exam with the skin. We do maintenance, and often people, once we think we've got everything cleared up, we still have them come back in about 6 months because new stuff is going to show up. So, and that's the easy way, because you have one or two things at a time to fix. You don't have your whole face that needs beaten up. I want to tell you about one other thing that is common if you've been struggling with, and I brought up shoulders and knees, but it goes for almost any joint. If you have something that you've spent some time doing some ice, doing some rest, trying to get it rehabbed on your own, and it's not working, it's not expensive, but again, you can use the deductible that's already paid off this year. If it needs something like a steroid shot or needs physical therapy, we can do that now rather than do that,
In January and start working on a new deductible.
yeah, get to start paying out of pocket for all of
Right.
that.
Good point.
We actually
So-
have a phone call. You want to take it real
Sure.
quick? Here we go. Good morning. You're on Top Story.
Good morning. Yeah, I came on the tail end of the hat conversation. I don't know if you mentioned this, but people wear baseball caps. Irrigating its best full-brimmed hat because I wore a baseball cap for the longest time and realized that right in front of my ears and everything was getting hot, And I started wearing a full-brimmed hat, and my face, it just makes all the difference to wear a full-brimmed hat instead of just a baseball cap.
Thank you.
Now, I'm really guilty of that. I do have a couple of full-brimmed hats, but my hat of choice is just a typical baseball cap.
Most people, right?
Yeah, no, that is probably the most common. So
Or no hat. I mean, hats aren't really in anymore.
no,
When you
no,
think
they
about it.
they are, shall we say, making a comeback as we see more and more sun damage. So, people that have had skin cancer, they make a conversion as to what they wear in the way of long sleeves and what they wear in hats. And I was at Thanksgiving with a brother-in-law who is very fair-skinned, and he talks about how he's even modified his baseball cap where they have the mesh in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and he's bald. So he actually puts a liner in the back because he has favorite hats he wants to wear.
Right.
But he is very conscious about sunblock and covering up. And if he gets any sunburn at all because he knows his family background, he actually gets kind of upset about I got sunburned because he's trying very hard not to, and he knows the more frequent a sunburn, the more likely you are to have skin cancer later. So,
And two,
but
we're
his
in the,
his ears are still losing.
they are.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of winter. I mean, most people think, oh, it's cold. There's not a lot of sun. We're okay, but you can still get sun damage in the middle of winter, right?
Yep.
Skiing, snowboarding.
Yeah, anything that has the snow involved, like we have on the ground right now, that reflection is intensified. Worst sunburn I've ever had on my face in my life was skiing
Uh-huh.
without sunblock. I had a swollen face for 3 days
Oh,
and
boy.
bigger lips than I ever wanted. So that's bad news.
Dr. Tripp, it's Better Health with Tripp Family Medicine. Give out your contact information real quick before we take off.
Our telephone number is 933-4400. The website is trippfamilymedicine.com, and Facebook is Tripp Family Medicine. Love to hear from you.
And you're
Doctor.
located on Locust Street?
We're on Fillmore.
Or Fillmore, I'm sorry.
Just across
Fillmore,
from the
post office.
Yep.
Yep, Fillmore Street.
Real easy to get to. Go
Yep,
have lunch.
excellent.
Go see Tripp.
There
Thank
go.
you.
Go see Tripp. Have lunch.
There you go.
Oh, thanks again. Hey,
Actually,
Thank you.
go see Tripp and bring me lunch.
Oh, hey, that
there you go.
Oh, okay.
works out better.
Good deal.
Well, Steve, we're going to be back next hour.
Yes, sir. We'll be right back right after the news break. So hang around. Bring your questions. Thank you.